then Will and Shannon. And Shannon is a graduate from our land and, well, at that time, agricultural sciences from agroecology. And then
Ron and Betty.
And it was actually, I guess, a result of our class visiting here that you met Will. Is that correct?
No, it wasn't.
No?
It was a result of meeting Will that I took your class.
Oh, a result of meeting Will that you took the class. All right. Actually, Shannon took 2 classes with us. She was in a food microbiology class that I teach as well. And then we have Ron and Betty, who are the original founders of Kitzel Farms. And that was back in 1950. Yeah. So we'll turn this over to the Kitzel family to say a few words about the farm and about the history of the farm. And then we can entertain some questions, and then we'll begin the tour.
My grandparents started this farm in 1950. They milked about 25 cows, and they had 80 acres. And in 1980, we bought 60 acres across the road, and whatever. A few years later, anyways, we've kind of steadily expanded up to, we're farmed 500 acres down here. We own 300 and rent 200. And we also bought a ranch up country close to Kamloops and have about 300 acres up there. And we're now milking 400 cows, or close to, anyways. So, I don't know what else. I don't know. I mean, as you can see, it's all surrounded by dikes, so we're below water level here. I don't know. Any questions?
It would be nice, Casey and Will and Shannon and Ron and Betty, if you want to tell a little bit about how the farm has changed over the last, say, 5 to 10 years. What new construction, new investment, what are the differences that during your engagement in the farm you have witnessed?
Over the last 10 years, basically every barn here is new. Over the last 10 years, we had older barns that were falling down and decrepit, so we've replaced them with much bigger, more efficient barns. I don't know, just like any other business, you keep on growing, or you die.
We recently moved into this parlor you see behind me. We originally came from, back in the olden days, was it a stanchion barn originally, or was it always a parlor? Yeah. Stanchion barn, so every cow has its own stall that it would stay in. And you would basically, she would get fed there, she would sleep there, and she would get milked in place. She wouldn't be able to move around. Since then, they are now housed in freestall barns, so they get up, walk around. There's feed, you'll see where it is, and they can walk around. And then they have to get moved into an area when they get milked. And, it started out at one time with about 4 stalls. 4 cows would come in at a time, and you'd milk them all in the same spot. And to the point now, the parlor behind me houses 40 stalls, and it's a rotary parlor, so it actually keeps moving. So cows come and walk onto it, and you'll see it'll be up and running in about an hour. And you'll see it, but cows keep coming on, and with this parlor we can milk about 200 cows an hour. We are milking almost 400 cows right now, and we milk them 4 times a day, or 3 times a day, sorry. And we're giving an average production right now of about 30 liters, which is low for us. Usually we can get an average out of our animals about 33, 34 liters a day. But the ranch in Kamloops is a new investment for us. We bought that a couple years ago. because land in the city here keeps going up in price, and we couldn't afford to buy more land here to expand. So we decided to build an operation up there and just ship all of our younger animals out of here, just so we could use the lands here to grow feed for the milking herd. We're hoping to continue expanding. We hope over the next 6 months that we'll actually get our herd up to milking about 450 cows. Currently we're producing just over 10,000 liters a day, but we hope to within the next year get up to about 13,000 liters a day in production. So a big jump. Yeah, and there's lots of plans in the future, but that's about it for now to talk about.
Any questions?
Oh, yes, yes. And also, can you mention Randy and
So Randy and Jackie are Will and Casey's parents, and they moved up to the ranch a few years ago, when they bought the ranch, and they love it up there, and they're not coming back. And they were very instrumental in growing this farm from Grandma and Grandpa's time to Will and Casey's time, and now Will and Casey are interested in growing the farm as well. Okay. I just want to make a biosecurity announcement. Anyone that's been on farms, cattle farms, sheep farms, any animal farms with their shoes, if you have dirty boots, can you please wash them with the Virkon just around the corner? Over there.
Can you explain why you want to have lights?
Okay, I don't work on Kitzel Farms. I'm an animal health inspector for the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. I just happen to be married to a dairy farmer. So part of my job is making sure Canadian animals don't get sick. So anyone that goes from farm to farm using the same footwear should always make sure their footwear is clean and their clothes are clean. So that's what I'm worried about. I don't want foot and mouth to be starting at Kitzel Farms. Also, anyone that has brought food from another country, please do not take it out of your pocket or bag. Leave it.
Thank you. And you may, if you've flown recently or you've crossed the border, you'll realize that you're often asked questions, have you been on a farm, or are you going to a farm? And that's primarily to help prevent the movement of diseases, because globalization and the ease of travel is making it very easy for viruses and other diseases to literally hop over the Atlantic, Pacific, and other oceans. The other thing we'd like to add is that this is the 32nd year that a group from our faculty has come on tour of Kitzel Farms. And we've estimated that there's probably been close to about 4,000 students from our faculty come through on tour on the farm. It all started with Art Bomke and I guess with you, Ron and Betty, 32 years ago. And that's 32 continuous years that our groups have been hosted here. And again, we hope that you have an enlightening experience today. But does anyone have any questions? And here comes Randy. Yep. But does anyone have any questions from items that we've discussed in class, or from your readings, or from information that was presented by Nelson Din the other day from the UBC Dairy Research Center?